there's so much interesting stuff going around Carson Wentz, and I start with you, Lewis, because I wonder what constitutes a successful season for Carson Wentz and these Colts, because it was the sky's the limit. Now it's be cautious, but we're still optimistic.
Look, if you're healthy enough to play, then what were the previous expectations come right back to the forefront, and they are going to be on the tips of our tongue all year long concerning the Indianapolis Colts. This is a very, very well-run franchise, has a great locker room, a coach who's tremendously respected. Let me go back to the locker room. Great leadership throughout this roster. Chris Ballard, the GM, has consciously built this football team in this way. They're in a division that is very much so winnable, although Tennessee is going to be right there challenging for supremacy in the South. Carson Wentz was supposed to be what ultimately takes them to another level for the team. And then, from a team standpoint, and then Frank Reich was going to take Carson Wentz's game back to previous levels like we saw, back when he was an MVP candidate and MVP frontrunner. If he's out on the field, then all those expectations are now going to be what the Indianapolis Colts fans are hanging on to, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. And that's to be a division title winner and challenge for supremacy in the AFC. It's as simple as that. There's no excuses, no explanations to channel my inner Mike Tomlin, who I love to death. No excuses, no explanations.
Yeah, and to channel and to challenge for supremacy in the AFC. I just don't even know, Adam, is Carson Wentz's physical condition at this point at the point where that's a realistic expectation?
I think it is, actually. If you listen to Frank Reich there, the fact that they're asking about whether Carson Wentz would play in the preseason finale tells you that I think at this point in time it would be an upset if he didn't play in the opener, reading between the lines. Because the fact that they're bringing that up now, asking if he could play in the preseason, well, then, of course, 2 weeks from Sunday, you think he's not going to be out there at that point in time, which means he's back sooner than they expected, which means that the problem in his foot that has existed since high school has been corrected. And yes, he's been fragile, but Carson Wentz knows how important it is for him to be out there. And I think it means a lot to him this year to prove that last year was a fluke, that he's back on track, that he can be a top-flight quarterback in the NFL. And when Lewis brings up the roster, let's remember this, that this is a roster that was built for Andrew Luck to win with. And it was built for him to win and go to the Super Bowl with. And Andrew Luck retired 2 years ago. And the pieces that were surrounding him, many of them are still there with improved enhancements at certain spots. So this is a roster that is ready to win. And Carson Wentz, I believe, is determined to step in and prove his worth.
So where do you see, Chris, this team going this year?
Well, they have to win a playoff game to make the Carson Wentz trade successful, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. You sent multiple draft picks to Philly because you felt like this was the long-term solution at the quarterback spot. And as Adam and Lewis just mentioned, I mean, this is one of the most complete rosters top to bottom. They had a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense from 2020. Not a lot of teams out there can make that claim. They came a goal line series away from being able to win on the road in Buffalo, if you look at the end of that first half in that playoff game. So I look at this and I say, if Carson Wentz is able to stay healthy and performs up to the expectations that Frank Reich and Chris Ballard have for him, there's no reason to think that the Colts not only have a chance to contend for the division, but have a chance to get into the playoffs and do some damage.
A lot of conditions there, though. Continues to be healthy, which he hasn't been in seasons past, and performs up to the expectations, which he didn't last year. So a lot has to happen for that to happen.
Hey, it's a production business, man. That's what it is. What have you done for me lately? And Carson Wentz has an opportunity with a staff that believes in him to go out there and prove that he's not the quarterback that we saw last year, and he's more like the guy that we saw in 2017.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.